Have you ever felt the punch in the stomach of that criticism that tells you, you won't make it? Or the suffocating weight of your own doubt, holding you back before you even start? It's a daily battle, isn't it? Well, imagine that battle amplified, lived by a young man named Minamoto no Yoshitsune. He not only faced the brutal fall of his family, but was also isolated in a temple, with a future already written, that of a loser. But what if I told you that it was precisely in this rock bottom that he found the strength to turn the game around and rewrite his own story? If his journey can ignite the spark in you to burn away those voices and achieve what seems impossible for you, to unravel this power, like this video and subscribe to the channel Samurai Wisdom, the voice of Yoshitsune. Think for a moment. When the story they tell about you is one of defeat, what do? Do you accept the script or do you tear it up and write your own? Yoshitsune, still a boy, was taken away from everything he knew, exiled, and delivered to a distant temple. For the society of that time, it was the end of the line. A life without glory, without a voice. Expectations were zero, the prophecies discouraging. However, within those sacred walls, away from judging eyes and the noise of the world, a silent revolution was underway. While they expected him only to meditate, Yoshitsune dedicated every minute to observation and learning. Did you know that, even under constant surveillance, he managed secret contacts with warrior monks and Kenjutsu instructors, absorbing tactical and martial knowledge that would be decisive in his future? He wasn't just living, he was preparing for a purpose that only he could see. The great lesson here, for your life, is clear as crystal. When a door closes in your face, a window opens for new tactics and new learning. Yoshitsune proves to us that true strength is not in running away from criticism or falls, but in turning them into atomic fuel for your own evolution. The voices that try to diminish you, the obstacles that seem insurmountable walls, can, in fact, be the invisible foundations for your greatness if you know how to use them. He did not fight against isolation. He turned it into his greatest ally to grow without distractions. He did not accept the imposed destiny. He, in silence, forged a new one. What barriers do you have today that could become your greatest laboratories for success? And how can you start rewriting the story that others told about you, proving that your no is just the beginning of your I can? Sometimes life closes certain doors on us, doesn't it? Maybe you've already felt that sensation, that the traditional path, the one everyone expected you to follow, is simply not available. It's at this point that the story of Minamoto no Yoshitsune offers us a powerful compass. Remember, when everything indicated that he would be just a reclusive monk, without a voice or glory, a silent revolution was underway. While society expected him only to meditate and conform to a predetermined destiny, Yoshitsune dedicated every fiber of his being to the secret mastery of skills. He did not accept the imposed script. Instead, he forged his own, cultivating a mastery that no one saw. Have you ever wondered what it means to seek new ways to improve yourself when the obvious is denied to you? Imagine Yoshitsune, still a young man, transforming his isolation in the temple into his greatest laboratory. Away from judging eyes, he not only studied but trained. Did you know that, even under constant surveillance, he managed to establish secret contacts with warrior monks? That's right. These monks were not just religious figures. Many were masters in martial arts and strategy. It was with them that Yoshitsune absorbed tactical and martial knowledge that would be decisive in his future, becoming a master of Kenjutsu, the art of the Japanese sword, and a brilliant military strategist, all in secret. He wasn't just living. He was preparing for a purpose that only he could see. The true strength, for you, lies precisely in this silent preparation. It resides in the acquisition of skills that will differentiate you, those you cultivate today, away from the spotlight, but which will be crucial for your future. Perhaps it's a new language you study in the early hours, a technical skill you refine after work, or a specific knowledge you seek with veracity, knowing that it will take you to another level. Just like Yoshitsune, you may be cultivating a hidden power that no one else notices, but that will be the foundation for your greatness. Think carefully. What are you improving today, quietly, that will propel you to where you want to go? These invisible skills, honed with dedication and purpose, are your greatest differentiator. They are your secret mastery. Yoshitsune's life teaches us that when the traditional path is denied, the greatest opportunities for innovation and personal overcoming arise. He transformed an apparent weakness, isolation, into a fortress for his development. What barrier do you face today that could be your greatest laboratory for success? And how can you start rewriting the story that others told about you, proving that your no is just the beginning of your I can? Think about it. Have you ever felt that collision? The one where your vision for the future, your audacious plan, meets a wall of other people's expectations? Perhaps it's your colleagues, your family, or even people you don't even know, dictating what you can and what you cannot do. It's a real challenge, isn't it? And it's precisely at this point that the story of Minamoto no Yoshitsune deeply connects with yours. Even after forging his skills in secret, Yoshitsune faced a new enemy, skepticism. You might be surprised, but he was not only underestimated by his rivals, but also by his own brothers. Imagine the scene. A young strategist with a brilliant mind and innovative tactics, trying to convince experienced leaders, including his older brother and leader, Yoritomo, to adopt approaches that challenged all the conventions of warfare at the time. It wasn't an easy task. Yoshitsune not only insisted on an active role in the campaigns, but proposed bold tactics that seemed like madness to the more traditional ones. He saw possibilities where others saw only insurmountable obstacles. Did you know that in one of his most famous battles, the Battle of Ichi-no-Tani, he led a suicidal charge down a steep, almost vertical slope, catching the enemy completely by surprise? It was something unprecedented, a move that defied the very military logic of the time. The commanders of his time would have laughed at an idea like that. But Yoshitsune did not allow the skepticism of others to overshadow his tactical brilliance. He trusted his vision, his skills developed in secret, and above all, his ability to overcome the impossible. Are you allowing the low expectations of others to dictate your potential? This is the question that Yoshitsune's life forces us to ask. He shows us that external validation is secondary when you have clarity about your purpose and conviction in your abilities. Think for a moment. How many times have you held back or postponed a dream because of what others might think or say? Yoshitsune's lesson is clear. Your vision, when fueled by passion and preparation, is a more powerful engine than any barrier imposed by other people's expectations. He not only believed in himself but acted according to that belief, proving, with results, that the impossible was just a matter of perspective. What steep slope do you need to descend in your life today? Where are you allowing the skepticism of others, or even your own, to prevent you from daring? It's time to challenge those expectations, to trust your intuition, and to show the world that your vision for the future far surpasses the limited view that others have of you. Your potential is shaped by your actions, not by the opinions of others. What boldness do you need to have to prove that? In moments of crisis, when the ground seems to disappear from under your feet, and indecision paralyzes many around you, can you act with audacity? Or, like most, do you hesitate, waiting for a clarity that may never come? This is the crossroads that life presents to us repeatedly, and it is at this point that the story of Minamoto no Yoshitsune shines like a beacon of courage. We've already talked about how Yoshitsune challenged expectations, imposing his vision, even when underestimated. Now, imagine the height of that audacity. In one of the most legendary battles in Japan, the Battle of Ichi-no-Tani, the scenario was one of total disadvantage for Yoshitsune's forces. Can you visualize it? An enemy army well-positioned, fortified, and in front of them, a steep, almost vertical cliff face that everyone considered impassable. It was a natural obstacle that should have prevented any attack. But Yoshitsune's unconventional mind saw not an obstacle, but an opportunity. While others saw a suicidal cliff, he saw a secret route, a decisive strike. Did you know that before the battle, Yoshitsune's own generals argued vehemently against the idea, fearing the loss of their troops in such a dangerous descent? Many believed it to be madness, suicide, but Yoshitsune, with his vision and courage, decided to take the risk. He led a small cavalry force in an unthinkable charge, descending the steep cliff of Hyodorigo directly into the unprepared rear of the enemy. Think of the audacity, the risk, the unwavering faith in his own strategy. This decisive action, completely unexpected by his adversaries, changed the course of the battle. Panic spread, and the victory that seemed impossible became a reality. The lesson for you is crystal clear. Sometimes the riskiest path is paradoxically the most rewarding. In your life, when you find yourself facing a cliff, an enormous challenge, a decision that demands everything from you, a project that seems daunting, what do? Do you retreat, or do you find the courage to descend? Yoshitsune's courage was not blind recklessness. It was the result of his silent preparation, his confidence in his own vision, and a unique ability to think outside the box. He did not act on impulse. He acted with calculated audacity. What cliff do you need to descend in your own life to turn the game around? What is that decisive action that you have been postponing, but that you know, deep in your heart, is the only path to your true victory? It's time to trust your hidden abilities, to challenge what others expect from you, and to act. Success often lies on the other side of that risk you fear to take. What if your greatest cliff is, in fact, your greatest opportunity for greatness? Have you ever experienced the bitter irony of when the success you have achieved, the one you fought so hard for that demanded audacity and overcoming, generates not admiration but envy and worse, betrayal? It's a deep wound, isn't it? Especially when it comes from those who should be by your side, celebrating your victories. If you have ever felt this unexpected pain, the story of Minamoto no Yoshitsune will resonate intensely with you. He was the brilliant strategist, the audacious warrior who descended cliffs to surprise the enemy, the leader who transformed the destiny of his family with crushing victories. You can imagine the glory that surrounded him. However, it was precisely this brilliance, these extraordinary achievements, that ignited a dangerous flame, the growing distrust, and eventually the persecution of his own brother, Yoritomo. Think for a moment. After fighting side by side, after seeing the Minamoto Empire rise thanks to Yoshitsune's genius, Yoritomo began to see him not as an ally, but as a threat. Did you know that Yoritomo, the older brother and the political leader of the clan, was in Kamakura and watched Yoshitsune's victories and popularity in the capital Kyoto with growing apprehension, fearing that his brother might usurp his power? Envy often does not need a logical reason. It is born in the fertile ground of the insecurity of others, regardless of loyalty or kinship. Yoshitsune, who had proven his courage on countless battlefields, now faced an internal war, an adversity that could not be resolved with a sword or a conventional military strategy. The betrayal came from whom he least expected, from his own blood. Resilience in the face of this internal envy teaches us that not all battles are fought with armor and weapons. Some of the most difficult ones are those that require unwavering inner strength, the ability to maintain your integrity and your purpose even when the world and the people you love seem to turn against you. What do you do when the wounds come? From those you least expect, do you bend under the weight of resentment and disappointment, or do you find the serenity to move forward, focused on your own values? Yoshitsune, despite all the pain and persecution, maintained his honor and his essence, not allowing himself to be consumed by hatred. He shows us that the greatest victory is not to defeat an external enemy, but to remain firm and true to oneself when adversity is internal and personal. This is the deepest lesson of his journey, the ability to endure unexpected adversity, especially betrayal, without losing your light. What wall do you have to cross today, which is neither visible nor on the battlefield, but rather in the heart of human relationships? And how can you strengthen your inner strength so that, no matter where the wound comes from, your soul remains intact and your purpose unwavering? Have you ever wondered what to do when the tide turns, when victories become distant memories and you find yourself completely isolated, persecuted, with everything collapsing around you? It's a situation that tests us to the limit, isn't it? When the ground seems to disappear beneath your feet and defeat presents itself as the only way out. It's at this point that the final phase of Minamoto no Yoshitsune's life offers a brutally honest and, at the same time, incredibly inspiring lesson. After all the glory, the crushing victories, and the audacity on the battlefield, the betrayal of his own brother Yoritomo cast him into an abyss of persecution. In his final years, Yoshitsune was forced to flee constantly, a fugitive in his own homeland. He lost the support of powerful allies, saw his resources evaporate, and his dreams of a unified Japan under his leadership fade away. Imagine the pain of being hunted, of having your own name turned into a target by those you once defended. This was not a battle of swords, but a fight for survival against an implacable and omnipresent force. But even in the face of this vertiginous fall, Yoshitsune never abandoned his dignity and his indomitable spirit. He continued to fight, not in great battles, but in every step, in every escape, in every moment of resilience. Did you know that even in the most adverse conditions, Yoshitsune maintained his strategic capacity, always seeking a new escape route, a new potential ally, a way to survive and perhaps one day reverse his fortune? He was a master of adaptation, even when hope was a mirage. Yoshitsune's life shows us that, even when defeat seems inevitable and losses are overwhelming, the persistence to continue and the ability to adapt are your greatest weapons. He did not allow himself to be defined by his circumstances, but rather by his unwavering will to resist. This does not mean that he did not feel pain or despair, but rather that he refused to be defeated by them. How do you get up and continue to fight, even when the ground seems to have disappeared beneath your feet? This is the question that Yoshitsune's final journey poses to us. Perhaps you are facing a significant loss today, of a job, of a relationship, of an opportunity. The world may seem to crumble, but resilience is not the absence of pain, but the strength to go through it. It is the ability, even in ruins, to find a single brick to begin rebuilding, or a small spark to rekindle the fire. What losses are you facing today that are testing you? And how can Yoshitsune's unwavering persistence inspire you to find a new route, to adapt, and to keep moving forward one step at a time, even when everything seems lost? Remember, your dignity and your spirit are the only assets that no one can take from you. And they are what, in the end, will allow you to rise again. Ultimately, after all the battles fought, the criticisms faced, and the betrayals overcome, what is the story that you want to be told about you? And more importantly, how can you ensure that it echoes louder than any criticism, any slander, any voice that tries to diminish you? This is the ultimate lesson that Minamoto no Yoshitsune's journey offers us, a legacy that transcends time and pain. Yoshitsune's life, as we have seen, had a tragic and controversial end. Hunted, isolated, and with all doors closing, he departed in a way that many would consider a final defeat. But here is the curiosity that challenges the very story. Despite the persecutions and the attempts to erase his brilliance, Yoshitsune's legacy transcended the slanders of his time. Did you know that, over the centuries, he became not a symbol of failure, but one of the greatest heroes in Japanese history, remembered for his tactical genius, his unparalleled bravery, and his indomitable spirit? His detractors were forgotten, his greatness immortalized. Think with me about everything we learned from him. You saw how he, even with a future already written as a loser, developed hidden skills in secret, transforming his isolation into a laboratory for growth. You saw how he defied expectations, trusting his own vision, even when his own brothers underestimated him, proving with actions that his intuition was a beacon. And you witnessed the power of decisive action, the courage to descend cliffs and turn the game around amidst chaos, because for him, the riskiest path was often the most rewarding. Finally, you felt the pain of dealing with envy and betrayal, but learned from his resilience that true inner strength is fundamental to overcome the wounds that come from those you least expect. This is persistence despite losses, the ability to rebuild when everything seems to crumble, maintaining your dignity and indomitable spirit. Yoshitsune's journey, then, is not just an ancient saga, it is a mirror for your life. It inspires the crucial question: How are you building a legacy that ignores the noise of critics and echoes your true essence? The legacy is not just what you do, but who you become in the process. It is the courage to be yourself, to follow your intuition, not to bend before the skepticism of others or the harshest adversities. What story do you want to be told about your life? What message do you want to leave for those who will come after you? Yoshitsune's wisdom teaches us that, even in the face of the tragic and the unexpected, your true strength lies in your ability to shape your own narrative. May your bravery, your resilience, and your genius, your own essence, echo louder than any voice that tries to diminish you. You have the power to rewrite your story, incinerate the negative voices, and conquer what seems impossible. If Yoshitsune's journey sparked a flame in you, if this samurai wisdom resonated in your soul, then like this video and subscribe to the channel Samurai Wisdom, the voice of Yoshitsune, for more inspiring lessons. Activate the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and share in the comments which lesson from Yoshitsune most impacted you or what was the cliff you needed to descend in your life. Share this video with someone who also needs this dose of courage and inspiration. Together, let's build a legacy that echoes the true essence of overcoming.